Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech with Riya. In this video, we will be talking about a very important topic in Tosca automation, which is library in Tosca. So ये बहुत ही important topic है based on interview point of view. Mostly 99% of times आपके जितने भी interviews आप दोगे उनमें ये question आएगा ही आएगा. So you have to know this. So make sure you're understanding this very clearly and इसका आप जितना हो सके practice करो because it is very important for you to understand. And also in your day-to-day work, in your project, you will be using this every day. So yeah, let's just quickly see what library in Tosca is, and then I will take you through the practical example of how we actually work on creating that. So लाइब्रेरी से आपको क्या समझ आता है? लाइब्रेरी मतलब it's like a container. It's storing uh, you can say test cases or elements inside it. So when you see the screen, I have a simple definition for you guys to understand what library is exactly in Tosca. So Tosca, a library in Tosca is a place where we store the reusable components such as modules, test steps, or any functions so that they can be used multiple times in any test cases. So in simple terms, whenever आपके पास कोई भी test case होगा, right? When you are working on any test case, तो उसके अंदर जो test step values होंगे, there might be scenarios where you will have to use them multiple times. So for example, let's just take a scenario where you're working on a test case, a login test case, जिसमें आपको different usernames के लिए test करना है. For example, username 1, username 2, username 3, ऐसे multiple usernames होंगे. So for each username, you will have to create a different test case? No. So in order to avoid that, we have something called library. So हम एक टेस्ट केस लाइब्रेरी के अंदर स्टोर कर सकते हैं and then we can use this test case multiple times along with different values you can say. Okay, so for example username 1 हुआ username 2 हुआ तो आपको हर टाइम you don't have to create a separate module and test cases for each username. You don't have to scan them and you can just do it once and store it in the library and through that library ke reference ke through you can uh, use it multiple times in any test case. So this was the simple definition. See, instead of creating the same steps again and again, we can reuse them from the library, which saves time and makes the automation easier. So इसमें आपका time save हो रहा है and your execution is very quick. And in simple words, it is the collection of reusable components that help reduce the duplication and improve efficiency in your automation. So इससे duplicacy भी कम होगा. So instead of creating the same test cases multiple times, you are just reusing the one that you have created once, like multiple times in the same test case. And then comes business parameters. So library, I hope it's clear until the definition here. So inside library, we create something called RTBs. RTBs मतलब reusable test step blocks. So reusable जो भी test steps आप library के अंदर store करोगे, those will be added inside that folder. It is like a folder RTB. Now I mentioned something like username 1, username 2. So you will be having different user data for that, right? हर username का email ID अलग होगा, password अलग होगा, right? So in order to create those, like write those data, we use something called business parameters. So as the definition says, it allows us to run the same test case with different input values without changing the test case. So एक ही test case में हम multiple values we can create and we can use them for our different scenarios. So I'll just show you. I know सुनने में आपको बहुत confusing लगेगा, but as you go through it practically, it gets easier. So इसके लिए I will just create a new folder here and I'll give it like library demo. And इसके अंदर I will be using the same login scenario that we have worked on previously for your understanding. So I have created a folder here. So inside this folder, I have two scenarios, for example, one for, okay, I'll just copy paste that. Okay, two. So let's just rename this as valid details. And the second scenario, let's just give it as invalid details. So यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया? We have added two test cases inside our folder. One is for valid credentials and one is for invalid credentials. Okay. So here यहाँ पे क्या है? As you can see, we have multiple username, password, and login buttons created. Okay. For now, for your understanding, I'm just taking two scenarios here to avoid any confusion. So instead of creating this multiple times like username दो बार, again password दो बार, again login दो बार, we can simply store this one into a library and then reuse that. So how we create a library? Inside this folder, when you right click, there is an icon here which shows L symbol and it says create TestStep library. And इसका एक shortcut होगा Control N, Control L. So once you click on that, a folder called library will be created. So अभी हम क्या करेंगे? We either you can simply create a folder for your RTB and add your test case, or you can directly add your test case inside this. So what you can do here, I will simply drag and drop this one, and I'll drag this and this one. So when as you dragged and dropped it here, you see this icon has changed to something like arrow, left arrow. So when you hover on that, you can see reference to this one. So अभी in simple terms ये क्या हुआ है? यहाँ पर आपने जो लाइब्रेरी में जो drag and drop किया था, now these are not the actual test cases. These are the reference of your library test cases. Okay. So let me just delete these and I will show you because we already have them inside our library. So अभी लाइब्रेरी के अंदर हमारे पास ये दो आ गए हैं. Okay, let me just use one only. I can remove that. So हमें क्या चाहिए था? We just needed one username, one password and one login for our different scenarios, right? So अभी इसके अंदर हमको क्या चाहिए? We need a business parameter to enter different values. So what we will do inside this library folder, we'll right click, sorry, inside this reference one, यहाँ पे when you right click, you see something P symbol called create business parameter. So as soon as you do that, again if you right click on that, ये वाला जो icon आएगा B लिखा होगा, that is create a parameter. So we'll be creating two parameters, one for username and the other for password. Username, and we'll create another one, password. Okay, so यहाँ पे हम कोई value, we will not be adding any value. So now what I'll do, I'll simply remove these and I will drag this username here and I'll do the same thing with password. So now what happens, whatever value you give to this username and password in your actual test case, that will be automatically fetched into this by using this syntax. So as soon as you drag and drop, this syntax will be automatically populated. So PL मतलब parameter of business parameter library का username password. So now what you will do? You will simply add this test case inside your valid and you can add the same inside your invalid. See, you can use this multiple times as I said. It's not getting deleted from your library. अभी क्या होगा? Whatever value you give to the parameters over here in your valid and invalid. For valid details, let us give these values, use our username and This will be the password. Okay. And for this one, we will take another username. For example, logged out user and same password. So now what we have done, we have used a library, one library for our two scenarios. So when we run these these test cases, it will work on two different users, one for the valid one and the other for the invalid one. I'll just run these two and show you how that works. First, let us run the valid details, run in Scratchbook. Now, when you see, it will enter the valid details and it will log into the website. Sometimes it takes a little time to execute, so just have some patience with that. See, it has logged in with the valid credentials. As you saw, our test case for valid details has passed. Okay, so it has grabbed the details from the library that we have created. Okay, now let's just quickly run the same test case for our invalid user. I'll go back. Okay, even this test case will pass, guys, with an error because we are giving correct details as per the website credentials. Uh, see, so our test case has passed. So see, it has fetched the same details. So whatever value you give to your business parameters, it will take the same through that syntax that we just saw inside our test step value. So I hope this topic was clear. We have seen how we can use one test case for our multiple scenarios. The same thing will work for different user scenarios as well. For now, we have just seen two scenarios like valid and invalid, but you can try on your own, try to work on more number of scenarios and try to understand how this parameters works and how you drag and drop the values and how it fetches the data from your parameters that you have provided in your library folder. So yeah, guys, I hope this topic was clear, and it is very important to know this one. If you are giving any interview, make sure you learn this very thoroughly and you try to explain them in every possible way. Uh, Okay guys, so thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you did learn something good today, then please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. And let me know in the comment section if you have any questions or if we have missed out on something. So I will take that through the next video. And in next video, we will see other different topics in the same test cases section itself. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. Bye. Take care.